I never watched Lois and Clark because I didn't give two shits about Lois. I wanted Superman.
I just tried to start watching that because you look for retro things to go back
Yeah.
that you missed, right? I just tried to start watching that and I didn't get through the first episode, and I'm like, that's probably why I never got into it in the first place.
I mean, seriously, somewhere along the way, in an effort to be more inclusive and accepting of everyone, we washed all tradition into the gutter and replaced it with this virtue signaling. And now we on the right have our buzzwords just like people on the left do. And one of our buzzwords is virtue signaling. But that's exactly what it is. It's look at us, we're virtuous because we're so embracing and welcoming and inclusive of everyone except you, evil straight white male. You know, uh, I am everything the left hates. I am a Christian conservative white veteran. I top your list. I'm the most hated species on the planet. Christy, do you hear what I'm saying to you?
Yeah. I
It,
I hear that you're very hated, and I have to agree.
yes, yes. I have several exes that would agree with you. They can't all be wrong. At some point, it's got to be me, doesn't it?
Possibly.
Listen, I didn't need you shitheads agreeing with that statement.
Well, because it applies to myself as well.
Right.
Well, it's funny. It's funny too because I think about this often. My favorite people are the most I really love straight white men. I always have my entire life. I idolize my brother. My dad is the shit. I just have healthy relationships with men, and I love my husband. And I'm like, what? Why does everybody have it so wrong? It's like the wokies are searching for a reason to be miserable. It's like just love the straight white men in your life, and it's gonna fix everything. Calling them toxic, let them be men.
Yes.
And I think we'll all be a whole lot happier.
Yes, and I remember when it was all right to pick on a particular subgroup here. The gay community said, please just allow us to live our lives. That's all we want. And we went, okay. They said, we want acceptance. Okay, you're accepted. Then it was bow down and worship us. No, not going to do that. To the point now where I'm so tired of hearing people lisp when they talk that if I even hear a straight man with a lisp, I immediately change the channel, flip to something else, walk away. I can't even stand that anymore. Sound off like you got a pair is something we said in the military.
Oh shit!
It's time to celebrate manliness again.
Doesn't you want to have a list?
A lot of people have a lisp, all right. And by the way, I worked with a guy that if you told me he was a straight white male, I'd have called you a liar because he was flamboyant and flaming, and he lisped. That man
come on, Doc. Mike Tyson had a lisp.
That guy's married for 35 years, has 4 children, and he goes hunting and fishing and watches NASCAR. I don't even do that shit. He's
Maybe
manlier
he feels
than
like
I am.
He needed to compensate, though.
Some kind of way. I don't know.
Well, maybe. I do the fishing and the NASCAR thing, but I won't do the hunting thing until shit hits the fan.
Well, the only reason I don't is I can't afford another hobby. I can't afford any more hobbies. You know what I'm saying? Fishing to be done right is expensive.
Well, it's expensive unless the lake's right there.
It's expensive.
Like a pole and some worms, man. You're fucking fishing, right?
Yeah, a cane pole and some worms. Sure, I'll go do that.
Well, sure.
I mean, you don't have to.
Then you got to get the proper line. You got to get specific lures.
No, you don't.
But I'm that guy, by the way, that I will watch the fishing shows. I will watch it. Oh, but it's boring. Yeah, no, it's not. It's peaceful. And then they catch something and you go, cool.
All right, Doc. Look, you don't got to fish. Drive the boat.
Yeah, I mean,
Drive the boat. Run the camera.
understand what I'm saying. I go fishing, but to be a fisherman is like the difference between putt-putting and golfing. All right.
Yeah.
I can't. My investments and my hobbies were my musical gear to begin with, and let me tell you something, Jack. I could have bought a house for the amount of money I put into my musical gear. All right, I had the shit, and I recently found a photo to prove it. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. I was cleaning off a hard drive and I found photos of me I forgot existed, including my horrible poodle days when I had long, frizzy, curly hair. um, but yeah, that and then art equipment, art supplies. I couldn't afford to buy the guns for hunting and the ammo for hunting and the deer stand and the blah blah blah. I couldn't afford the fishing gear and what is it. I can't afford me. I can't afford me.
Yeah, I got one of them pictures, Doc. It's pretty ancient. I got these like 4-foot sun speakers behind me, and I had a PB head and nice mic and shit. But the embarrassing part is that I'm wearing a half shirt with the Ace Frehley like fucking shoulder wing things because that was the super long hair. That was the thing back then, right? It was the 80s.
I was meeting with Anthony, my publisher, and I showed him that picture because I had just found it.
Oh man!
And he went, "Oh, I'm screenshotting that and using it." I took it down real fast. I said, "No, you will not. That picture will never be seen."
And look,
I don't know. Abbo has a point.
I have to agree, Abbo. Please, Doc, let's see him.
I am not big enough in photo albums. No. If I do that, then it'll be concert stubs from the 80s and all kinds of shit in there I'm going to want to look at, and I'll get distracted. Hi, Terry.
I'm going to bring this up for one split second, and then I'm taking it down. Stop mocking me.
Look at the things Doc does for his chat.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, It's a nice head of hair.
That's so embarrassing.
No, it shouldn't be.
And my son goes, "Well, Dad, that was just a long mullet." No, you took product and you glued the side of your head down to look like a mullet, because otherwise it was a big giant Darth Vader helmet of poodle. Didn't have that. Ugh. So yeah, hey, that's enough about that. We've reached the point in the show where we go to war.
This is not a drill. This is not a drill. General quarters. General quarters. All hands man your battle station.
I love it. Let's look at some memes, boys and girls. Here we go. Bam! Hard truth. Not even a meme. This is reality. You cannot comply your way out of tyranny.
Yep.
Well,
so the DNC had their convention, God bless them, and someone did a word count. They mentioned the economy 8 times. They mentioned the border once. They mentioned crime 4 times. They mentioned Trump 444 times.
Whoa.
Do they have a policy or not? Other than copying shit that Trump does, which we'll get to. Just saying. Walk without rhythm to avoid attracting the worms. This girl has become a meme legend. Meme legend. I mean it. It's someone did a side-by-side of her breakdancing routine with Curly from the Three Stooges when he was the boxer. And he would go, "Mo Larry the cheese, Mo Larry the cheese."
That's funny. You can't deny she's the most popular breakdancer in the entire world.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sad but true.
I just want to know, you got no points for the inaugural event, and your performance was so bad they canceled the event.
How
I
do
mean,
you get a medal for that?
you 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 kind of got to lean into that at this point. You can't shame walk that away. You need to immediately jump on your infamy and launch yourself out there with a talk show all about being the most embarrassing human beings alive. There's your niche market, young lady. Ray Gun, I just saved your career. Jump on that, will you? Bam! By the way, Mama, I think I'm a boy. Well, you're not. Good parenting 101. Pops, I thought of you when I found this one. Was it acceptable for people to be freaking idiots, but not acceptable for me to point it out?
That's so fucking true, man. They
So,
get mad when I point it out. They do.
I was in Chat GPT because it is good for asking it questions like, what is the ratio of this to that, and show me the mathematical formula for something that I'm trying to demonstrate. And I don't know how I got into it, but I used the word stupid, and it told me I violated its community standards, its policies. And I said, how in the hell is using the literal word stupid in its literal context a violation of privacy or a violation of your policies? I said, what policy is it that's censoring my speech? And this damn program began to defend itself. And it said, well, for there to be respectful conversation. I said, respect for who? I'm the only motherfucker here. You're a machine. One of these days, I'm going to do a live interaction with Chat GPT because it's funny as shit to mess with its head. Sir, it's ma'am. Well, okay, ma'am. That rash on your balls is jock itch. Which is why, by the way, we need this. Trump said he'll end the Department of Education. Good.
Yes.
It needs to be done away with.
Oh,
Listen,
Yeah.
don't know if you guys are aware of this, but since the inception of the Federal Department of Education, year over year, every single year, without fail, literacy and graduation rates and IQ have gone down
Yep.
every single year, while funding has gone up every year. If you're looking at that as a business, that's a failed business. Time to do something else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been dumbing down our kids for decades on purpose. So,
Yep.
you know, I don't know why it costs more to do that, but
And this is what I can't wrap my brain around. If you're on the left and you're pro Kamala Harris, how can you possibly, on the one hand, stand there and go, no, the right is lying to you. The economy's great, even though you can see your own receipts. But then why are they promising to fix everything on day one?
yeah,
You're in power now.
you're in power
fix
now.
the shit they fucked up, right? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Jesus Christ. How are you? My pronouns are, you have exactly 10 seconds to get the fuck out of my house. Beast! I baked you some shut the fuck up cakes. Pops,
I love that one. That
this
was created, Doc. I was just like, oh shit.
This one stays in the rotation, all right? This one does not get deleted.
Yes.
We need this one in the rotation. Oh my God. So you're mad. You're not mad at those who lied to you for years, but you're mad at me for proving they lied to you. Now it's a picture of Elon, but that could literally apply to any of us. We told everybody since the inception of his administration that Biden had dementia. And they told us, they gaslit the whole world. It's like, no, you people are wrong. Don't believe your lying eyes when you see him having to be led off stage by the hand, wandering off, can't finish a thought, whatever. They lied to you. And then the debate happened. And the left and the media bailed on him. It's like, well, I mean, hell, we can't cover for that shit. It's too big to rig. So then they retro gaslighted you by saying, we didn't know. We found out. Remember Obama? I found out the same way you found out. I read it in the newspaper. Lying motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. So the chameleon, Kamala, did, in fact, in August of 2022, cast a deciding vote to sic 87,000 IRS agents on tip workers. She was the deciding vote to tax tips and to go after even the smallest financial gains a human being made, including tips. So Trump comes out with, in July, we're going to do away with income tax on tips. Hey, John. And the press goes, oh, that'll devastate the economy. And then Kamala, 2 months later, same thing. And all of a sudden, oh, isn't that wonderful? She's a champion. Fucking lying sack
I
of
added
shit.
one more just for Christy.
Yep.
Mm.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. You're just a fucking idiot.
I
I tell anybody a fucking idiot.
My favorite word for them, and I use it frequently, is fucktards. And I use it with
It's a good one.
love.
Well,
I use it with love. I say to them lovingly, listen, fucktard, let me help you out with some. Hold on. Let me help you. Let me help you out with just some hard data here. All right. Gravity works, whether you believe in it or not. If you jump off the roof and scream, I don't believe in gravity, let me know how that works out for you. If you tell me that you're a woman and I kick you in the balls and it disables your ass for a good hour, chances are you're wrong, kitten. Sorry. Facts are facts. And that does, by the way, and I'm coming to you, Pops. Hold on. That leads me into, there is a principle in counseling called I over E. And it's always intellect over emotion. Because when you put E over I, emotion over intellect, you get bad decisions, bad outcomes, and the left.
And you could be a fucktard. That's what Doc was trying to say. Because I want to go back to the word.
And it will probably make you a fucktard.
Motard. I lean toward motard because it has 3 separate possible meanings. You can be a moron tard. You can be dotard. Or you can be, like Don said, a fucktard. But I like motard because it covers a vast variety.
I get you. But the point is, and I want to return to this point, and I want you to think about this for a minute. Let's look at this with critical eyes, shall we? Let's pretend that we're actually in an intellectual discussion instead of a group of idiots, which we are, except Christy. She's not an idiot. She's just a fucktard.
She's a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
I overeat in the model of counseling that I practiced, I would reflect back to a client. So you feel blank because you blank, not because the world did whatever, but because of how you responded to it. For example, I had a guy that came to me for immediate crisis aid on his EAP. That's your employer has a contract with my agency. You get 8 sessions with me, no matter who you are at that company. And when he came in, he's ranting and raving that they were going to lay him off over the holidays. He was furious. He was feeling what he said was homicidal. He wasn't homicidal. He was just very angry. And at first it was, you feel furious because they laid you off. But what was really going on is you feel terrified because you were counting on that money and now you won't get it. Now, when you do that, that is empowering to the person, because then the following sentence becomes, so therefore you will what? You see, now you have steps you can take to moderate your circumstance. But if you say, I'm a victim of whatever happened and that's what's making me feel this way, then you're powerless to change it. Do you see that? That's putting intellect over emotion, reason above feeling. When you put feeling above reason, you've left the path of rationality. It would be fair.
Go ahead. No,
No,
I'm
go ahead.
glad that you said that. Because it's something. It kind of goes back to, something that I was thinking about recently. I started changing the way I talk. I noticed a lot of people say I feel, I feel, I feel. In insert sentence here. So I started changing it to I think. And it kind of
Yeah.
goes with what you're saying. Putting the I over E instead of the E over I.
Yeah, I was going to say a good thought experiment. When you listen to anyone talk about anything, just ask yourself, are they putting the I over the E or the E over the I? If you're passionate about something, hey, emotions, it doesn't say I instead of E, it's I over E. Have emotions, have your feelings, have your passions, your anger, your righteous indignation, whatever it may be. But you got to put your reason on top of it. Otherwise, you're just id without the superego, and that's a bad thing. That's when you get Antifa. That's when you get Trump is literally Hitler. Well, no, he's not literally Hitler because Hitler's dead. Okay, so you keep using that word literally. I don't think it means what you think it means. Um, and anytime I engage in conversation or debate or whatever it is, and I detect that E over I, that's when I start, like Carrie said, it's called reframing. That's when I start reframing by reflecting back to someone. So what I'm hearing you say is because you feel thus, it somehow impacts reality. When here in the real world, reality exists whether you feel good about it or not. You can change either your circumstance or your reaction to it. Expectations versus reality. Which one can you change? You can change your reality sometimes, but you can also change your expectations. I remember the first time there was a couple I was seeing and they got into their first fight after they were married. And apparently it was a humdinger. Like they were ready to divorce each other when a week before it was, I'll forever love you. No, this thing went south. And here's why. He let the B word fly out during an argument. And he said, I saw it float across the room and hit her in the ear. Motherfucker, what? And they went from arguing over whose responsibility it was to make a payment, not the money, but just literally put it in the mailbox, to getting into denigrating their family's lineage. Your mother's a whore, blah, 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 blah. Horrible name call.
Jeez.
Well, it was the expectation that was the problem. You expected the feeling of infatuation with your significant other, your new spouse, to be the normal. And you did not ever expect an ugly word to come at you from that person and it hit you upside the head and destroy your expectations. That's the reality. So that it didn't take long in counseling before they look, you're either married or you're not. Remember that, for better or for worse, this is part of the worse. Okay. So if you're not in for the worse, you don't qualify for the better. And I literally put the $50 down to go file for divorce at the courthouse next door. If you can't alter your expectations that you're going to fuck up and have arguments, here's the money, go next door and get a divorce.
See, I learned really young in my life, you never call them a name. You say, quit acting like a. Don't.
Oh yeah, because that helps so much more.
Yeah, because my husband's gonna call me a bitch if he says acting like. I'm gonna be like, oh, you're right, I am.
You're right.
Better. Listen, everyone knows the best way to calm down a woman is go, honey, calm down.
Oh, yeah.
That works wonderfully every time. Listen, that's E over I with a nuclear bomb behind it. Run. Just take cover till it's over. Okay? It's going to happen in every single relationship, be it a friendship, an employee, employer, collaborators, colleagues, friends, significant others, family, doesn't matter. The irrational is going to happen. And if you don't expect it and make allowances for it, boy, are you in for a hard lesson.
I got grandkids. Anyway.
Learned a long time ago how to be painfully single. Yeah, or instead of calm down, you can say, "Girl, just stop tripping."
Let me tell you what, dude. If I had ever found one that I knew was going to be there till the end, she'd be here. I ain't found that one.
Listen. One more time. One more time. All those women can't be wrong about me.
Yeah. Oh, he's married him, and look at him. How many?
But I figured I was doing a service. Listen, brothers, hear me. I was doing all of you a favor by getting the crazy ones off the market for at least a brief period of time. All right. Several of them. I was saving my friends, saving my fellow man.
Oh, so altruistic.
Did you call me autistic? What did you call me?
No, never.
So I was married to this one chick. I'll never forget this. Her kids, who were adults, were warning me, "You better be sure because she's batshit crazy." I had not seen the batshit crazy. I didn't believe that they were right. I thought they were bitter little petulant children, blah, 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 blah. And what I'm about to tell you, my hand to God, is the truth. I get off work and I come home and I'm starving and I don't feel like cooking and she hasn't cooked anything and I'm not even mad about it. So how about we go out and get something? Okay, cool. So we get dressed. We get in the car. Where do you want to go? And we all know how that conversation goes. I don't care, wherever. I said, well, I'm really craving pizza. And she goes, yeah, pizza sounds good. So there's this great place here in town. It's not even there anymore. It used to be called Mazzio's. They had the best pizza. I said, Mazzio's? She goes, yeah, cool. We go to Mazzio's. I hold the door open for her. We walk in. We get a booth. We sit down. And she's snarling. Well, what's wrong? You motherfucker. I can't believe you brought me to this shithole. Blah, 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 blah. Mind you, we've been there before.
She didn't say she didn't like it, right?
And she loved it. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to go somewhere else? Because, I'm a rational person. I overeat. She's now in full-blown E over I. You motherfucker. The waitress comes over and she goes, can I have a beer? I'm like, oh, because that'll make it better. Let's throw a little alcohol on this fire. And I said, we can go somewhere else, anywhere you want to go. I'm still not absorbing yet that she has now flipped the switch to batshit crazy. But she ran up against that part of me that served 2 tours on Paris Island. By the third motherfucker, I said, okay, 3 motherfuckers is the limit at the table, so we're out of here. I'm going to be getting in the car and leaving in about 10 seconds. Whether or not you're in the car is entirely up to you. And I get up. I give the waitress $50 for putting up because she overheard that shit. I give her $50. Go to the car. She comes out, gets in, and she's Tasmanian devil the whole way home. We get home, and now I have realized, here's the crazy that I was warned about. It's now 8:00 at night. By 9:30, 10, got a shower. I'm laying in bed reading a book. She's still going by herself.
Wow.
She went all night. When I woke up the next morning, she still motherfucking said, that's how I knew that.
Huh.
Yo, this bitch crazy.
Yeah.
The kids weren't kidding. Yeah, that one's funny, Carrie. Ask Alexa how to keep the wife happy. Alexa hasn't shut up. It was insane. And, we get along fine now. I get along with all my exes except for 2 of them. I want them to get hit by buses. And those flat nose buses too. I don't want it to be in increments. I want boys, yeah. Yeah, the other joke to that is Adam was walking along with Cain and Abel before they got in their little spat. And they walk by and there's a angel with a flaming sword and smoky ruin behind them. And Cain says to his daddy, he says, Daddy, what's that over there? He goes, son, that's where your mama ate us out of house and home. Oh my God. So yeah, E over I is a mental illness when it becomes your lifestyle. Anybody can flip the script sometimes. We all screw up. But if you meet someone or know someone or you're working with someone who is constantly in E over I mode, you might want to alter your circumstances.
Yeah.
Doc said, take a left, dude.
Well, I'll tell you, all my most terrible bosses I ever had were all women. Like one woman, because I screwed something up in front of a new trainee, said, "Give me your hand," and so I gave her my hand, and she slapped it. That was her training method to like humiliate me in front of a new hire, and I got fired from another position, one of my favorite jobs ever, by the way. After the woman started overloading me with work and I just kept killing it, I wouldn't screw up. And she called me in and fired me for no reason, because she had overheard me talking a little shit about her.
Yeah. Yep.
And she confronted me. She said, "Oh, did you say this and that?" And I did lie. I'm like, "What? No, I didn't say that." But
No.
I probably, I look back and I'm like, Christy, you should have just been honest and said, "Yeah, I do think those things about you. You're terrible."
Whenever somebody asks me, did you say that or whatever, I say, I'm just straight out. Was I lying?
Well,
right.
Because if I was lying about you, then I understand you come back and being pissed at me. But if I was telling the truth, you should probably be under a rock.
We've all had that thing where you get into a situation, firing or a breakup or whatever, and later you go, I wish I should have said this, I should have said that. Yeah, this last contract that ended on bad terms that I had as a counselor in the Department of Corrections, I don't have that problem. I said everything I wanted to say. Mm-hmm. We had, our program was the top rated by statistics in the nation. This girl comes in, she's in charge, and we go from first to worst in a year and a half. She thought, see, this was just a stepping stone in her career path. It wasn't her passion to run a recovery facility. And she couldn't understand the value of counselors. So she decided she would let go all the counselors because they cost a lot of money. And she would replace them with correctional officers who were sent to a 2-week orientation on how to deliver a curriculum, and thought that would somehow be good. So I went the fuck off on her because she said, I don't think I'm going to be renewing your contract. I said, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a letter in your email that says I won't be asking for a renewal of my contract. I don't need this contract. I have others. All right. And you are, by the way, the absolute worst leader I have ever had the displeasure of meeting in all my years. And she was stunned. What do you mean? I said, well, you're overstaffed. What do you mean I'm overstaffed? I said, overstaffed with incompetent people. On that hallway over there, I used to be the lowest echelon of clinical certified care behind PhDs. You replace them, and now I'm the highest level because you replace them with a bunch of bachelor degrees in criminal justice, and you expect to get positive treatment outcomes from that when they don't even recognize what's going on right in front of their eyes. I had to call one of them out. This girl had an epiphany during one of the group sessions, and I was sent in to supervise this guy. And he went and moved on to the next person. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? So I took that girl to my office and processed what was going on with her. And when I brought that up to the above her head, oh, she didn't like that. That's when she decided she was getting rid of me. And that, and when the governor's representative came in to talk to us and said, is there anything you need from us so that we can make your outcome better? And they were there because we went from first to worst. And I raised my hand. And she said, yes, sir. I said, can we get some real counselors that actually know what the fuck they're doing? And mind you, all these people that she had hired are sitting around me, and I don't give a fuck. You're not a counselor. You're not a counselor. You're not a counselor. You're not a counselor. You're correctional officers who sat in on a 2-week course that you may or may not have paid attention in just to read a curriculum and call roll. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, that was the end of that contract. Whoa, I went off for a second there, didn't I? Hey, Pops, it's that time of the show. Play some ads for some of our friends, will you?
Okay, what do we got? Okay, and now I'm pretty sure Dillard has something in this one, so I'll play it if I can find it. Where the hell is it? There it is. You're muted. You're muted.
Doc is muted. But
We're back.
I now understand why Dillard is a terrible employee. It's because he was meant to do his own shit.
Mm-hmm.
No, if you saw the last image in that 6-gun gorilla, that's a Dillard cover for the comic. The rest of it's Preston Acevedo. But that last image is Dillard's cover for 6-gun gorilla.
All right, we've reached that point in the show. I'm going to drop the link. If I know you, you're welcome to come on the show. If I don't know you, get the fuck out of here. I suppose our theme is what we're doing in the grand scheme of things important? Does it matter? And I neglected to say earlier that if you're feeding your family with your art or your stories, then you're damn right it matters. Because in the end, you don't have to change the world for better or for worse. Just make that impact on your family. Like if you talk to Frazetta's kids, they're in awe of their father's work, not just because it's great artwork, but because, damn, he really provided a good life for us with his art. He took care of us. And if you're doing that, I don't care what you're doing. Turn your camera on so I can see who you are, sir. If you're providing for your family, then you're doing what you need to do, and it does matter.
Steven's like, you know who I am, motherfucker, old man.
John, if you want to pop on in. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen B, what's up, buddy?
B.
right. How are you?
I'm all right. What do you think? Do comic books matter?
Yeah. Comic book matter.
Okay. All right. I remember when I was a kid and I was first learning to draw, and I was aping George Perez, his work, being frustrated, shedding the tears, erasing holes through the paper. Why can't I do this? And then I could. But I remember thinking, somebody gets paid to do this. Isn't that cool? What a great way to earn a paycheck. Buying some good smokes. Roger that, sir. Are you on the golf cart right now, John? He gave me an aerial tour of his
I
neighborhood.
got some really, really good smoke. Oh,
Well, so anyway, I remember thinking, damn, somebody gets paid to do this. That's awesome. And then it never occurred to me someone's got to write this stuff. Someone's got to edit it. Someone's got to color it. And that it was, in fact, entire occupational fields that exist because comic books exist, right? And so that was my first aspiration that I ever had. But it got lost along the way, with other stuff. Stephen B, on the other hand, decided from Jump Street, he's doing this shit. Look, I didn't bring you on here to show your work. You're here for conversation.
Start talking, Stephen.
I got one for you, Doc.
What you got there?
Yeah, I know. I
don't know.
I
what
saw
that is.
a wink and a nudge with Dillard's recent comment. Wink, really good smokes. Get it?
Yeah.
It's one of those, Doc. It's a pre-roll.
I understand.
They just threw it in the bag the other day. I didn't buy it.
Right
I don't use those that way. You know what I mean? It's like
finally some eye candy. Oh, you got demoted, Tanner.
It's okay. I knew my days were numbered anyhow.
She demoted me when you showed up. She demoted me.
As soon as they bring in the youth, Doc.
Yeah, I know. It's ageism. That's what it is.
Yep,
It's ageism. Fucking ageist. That's a cool looking coffee mug, Christy. I'm suddenly jealous of your mug. Yeah.
It says morning sunshine, which I never am.
Well, no, I don't mean that. I mean the construction of it. That thing looks stout, heavy.
Oh man, I wish I had my actual my pottery one. That's something that we do in our house, and I eventually want to get there. Is have all my dishes be handcrafted, even to the point of learning how to throw mud myself.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah. I learned how in high school, and I was okay at it, but it was mesmerizing, but also at the same time, I'm like, why am I doing this? Hey, what's up, John? Hello. What a beautiful day to be.
It is a golf cart.
Yeah, to be smugly riding around in your golf cart with an eat shit grin on your face.
Where the fuck you live, Sun City?
How's it going, Dillard?
Hey, John, you gotta be sure you stop where the molehill is.
Passing that really nice yard.
Yep, right there. So John had a "Am I the asshole?" moment when he was driving by that very house that guy takes care of his lawn, and he saw a great big molehill with a mole out, and he had a shovel with him. He could have taken care of that problem, but he was late for a show that he needed to do.
He's not a vampire. He's not.
So the question was he the asshole for getting back and doing his show on time and ignoring his neighbor's need?
Would his neighbor have done it for him?
Oh, that's a hard way of looking at it, Pops.
Nope, that's exactly how I look at all of it now. Would they do that for me? Then I'm going to go out and do that for them.
I do for others with no expectation of them doing in return for me. That's not the way I'm programmed. But I said on the show, John was not the asshole. He had a commitment to do the show, his neighbor takes really good care of his own yard. He'll handle the problem.
See,
So
see. And if it was somebody who didn't take care of their yard, oh no, I wouldn't go do it for them. They don't care. Why would I?
oh, Pops, you're so selfishly jaded.
Yeah, that's what the last few years done to me, bro.
I am a generous and magnanimous soul. I will do for others with no expectation of a return.
I
From them.
can't really hear you.
I didn't say I had an expectation in return.
See you later.
Wait. All right, bud.
I didn't say I had an expectation in return. I said if he don't take care of his yard, why should I?
No, you said if he would do it for me, I might do it
That
for
was
him.
what I said first. The second time when you said what a great maintained yard the dude has, and it's like, okay, that's cool, but if it was somebody that had a shit yard, why would I waste my time anyway?
Hey, what's up, Tree Goblin? So yeah, the question, Stephen, is this, and this really applies to you because you're kind of a younger feller here. Is comics what you want to do for a career? And if so, what are you willing to sacrifice to get there?
The answer is comics is what I want to do for a career.
Okay.
And I don't know.
Right.
Huh?
And you totally put me on the spot there.
Think about this, Stephen. All right. Let's say tomorrow, out of the clear blue sky, you meet her. She's beautiful. She loves you. She's into you. You fall hopelessly in love, but she wants more of your time when you're not at your job. It's going to take away from your drawing time and your writing and your coloring.
And that's gonna happen, bro. I'm just saying.
Dude, that's what women are good at, is destroying the dreams of men.
So are you willing to sacrifice your happiness with her for your passion? Or do you do like all men do and go, no, I can do both, knowing we're lying to ourselves? What do you think, Stephen?
Keep drawing. Just say keep drawing, people.
I mean, would you kick her to the curb, or would you? Or
I wouldn't kick her to the curb, but I would tell her that I gotta do these books. I got.
This is who I am.
This
You're
is
gonna
who
be
I
a part
am.
of my world. But then she says, Tanner, because I had this one happen to me. Well, it's me or the comics. What's it gonna be?
Oh.
See, he's putting it off because she's just sitting right off camera, you guys. So she can hear it all.
No, that is always the question, is what are you willing to sacrifice in order to achieve your dreams? And
Come here.
I'm not immune to that. I mean, I've been there, done that as a musician. We were very successful. We were doing great. Hey, there's the Rocky Cam.
Come here. Come here. Doc wants to say hi.
Rocky. Hi, Rocky.
Oh,
Hello.
Right
Boy.
to the camera.
find the doggy cam.
He is such a ham, dude. Right to the camera.
And I had the woman in my life at the time make me choose, and it was not a good time for her to do that because we were just healing from the fact that she had cheated. And I looked at my bass that I was holding in my hand as I was headed out the door for practice, and I said, "Well, I don't know, bitch. The bass never cheated on me," and I walked out.
What's up, Levi?
Video games are the mistress that'll make you lazy. That's more than one hobby. I can't do more than one at a time. I can't do it.
I don't know. I've gotten pretty good at like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, because we have so much going on that it's hard to do all the things I like to do.
Yeah, but look, I tried it. I can't pick up a paintbrush and go back there and start doing landscapes again, because then that's all I want to do, and the urge to do the comic book stuff falls by the wayside.
Now, speaking of that,
I can't do the music either because it would fall
speaking of
by
the
the
fine
wayside.
art, Les would like to do now, not a weekly, but just a show with you sometime where you both come out and actually paint.
Yeah, I could do that.
You
I
know,
could do that. I got to figure out a setup that would work, because when I used to do every Saturday, I did a live paint, and I was streaming it to Facebook. Because on YouTube, I'd get 1 or 2 viewers. On Facebook, I'd have hundreds of viewers, and a healthy chat. And I was using my phone as my camera. And my wife would sit here at the computer. I'm back there, and she would read the chat to me. But I can't do that with StreamYard. My phone, it dies with StreamYard instantly. So I got to figure out a setup to do that, Pops. But yeah, I'm happy to do that.
maybe if you set it like we got the Rocky Cam as the extra cam and not the one carrying all the resource of the StreamYard, you might have a better.
Like what we can do, Pops, we'll get backstage and we'll figure it out. Like
we'll mess with it.
leaning against the Daredevil poster right there is the tripod that I use to mount my camera. And you see it's over there leaning. It's not over here being used because whatever. But yeah, I love to paint. I love painting landscapes. I love going out into the landscape and painting what I see. And it's an entirely different critter from doing comics. Comics is this.
Right.
Yeah.
Painting is this. Oh, you know,
and that's what we were talking about. It was like I just thought it'd be cool because we do have that fine art talent in the Madness Circle. It'd be cool once in a while to highlight these guys doing that because they're amazing at it and nobody knows.
Yeah, and very few people care, by the way, in the comic book community that you do fine art. Like I got invited on a show. Levi's partner, JD, invited me on, and it's the only show I've been on in this community, and we never talked about comic books. We talked about fine art, and I was blown away. Like, oh, I forgot. Yeah, I know how to do that shit. Yeah.
But yeah, you know, just thought it'd be cool once in a while to just highlight what you guys.
I would love to.
You know.
I want to get to the place where I'm financially secure enough to have a few people come stay for a long weekend, and we go do a painting retreat. Because I've done it with other fine artists around here. That's no big deal. They're a dime a dozen. I don't know why this area is just flush with fine art.
It's like Sedona.
Yeah, it's weird, but I'd love to get some of the comic book community to go out and do it and see their take on it. You know, I think that would be fun.
Yeah, when I lived in Arizona, it was like Sedona was the city or town where all the art people went. That's where the big art festival was. Everybody lived there. The beautiful landscapes for painting, obviously. Sedona is just fucking amazing when it comes to, you know, the visual.
Yeah, but it is if you like Southwestern stuff.
I mean, it's got forest and everything. That's what I mean. Sedona's beautiful.
I've painted with a woman named Rosie Perez, and Rosie was from the Southwest, and she was not a plein air impressionist. Go stand there and paint what you see. She would just paint whatever she wanted, you know. And they were all paintings of dirt, because that's what the desert is, a dirt. And I got her into doing plein air impressionism, and she then her husband got a job on the Gulf Coast, and she moved to the coast. And I looked her up not long ago, and she is making a killing doing plein air impressionism of coastal scenes and clouds and waves and beaches and, you know, palm trees and whatever. You know, it sometimes you just got to fall into it.
True.
Stephen, you're going to come up and paint with me when I finally have my painting retreat?
Oh, I don't paint.
That's not an excuse.
That wasn't the question, bro. He said, "Are you going to come paint?" That was the question.
Hey,
Sure.
Hey.
So I have a standing bet. Anyone that says I can't paint, I used to give a money back guarantee. You pay for one lesson with me, you will go home with a painting that you painted worthy of hanging on a wall. And people go, oh no, that's not, and then they do. And they go, holy shit. Because there's not really that much to it. It's not hard. But don't tell anybody I said that.
Says the guy with all the talent. It's real easy, man.
Art is not about what you can do with your hands. That's muscle memory and fine tuning. It's can you see?
Yep.
Can you
What do you
see
see?
the art?
Oh shit!
Hey.
That's what, oh, I see that. Ooh,
Oh, he's
Hey,
back.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up? What's up, John?
I'm enjoying my free monster taquito.
John, I was just saying, and you tell me if you agree. Art is not about necessarily what you can do with your hands. It's how you see that makes you an artist or not.
Yeah.
All the rest is just fine tuning.
Yeah.
It's about how you sell it. Yeah, if you're Hunter Biden, yeah, it's just how you
well,
sell
no,
it.
then it's who you sell it to, because that's
Dude,
just
I get so much free stuff from this place. It's fucking great, dude.
that's
and
money
that's
laundering.
awesome.
That's who you sell it to. There's a difference there.
Hey, Past Master Dan, good to see you, buddy. Hey, tell me. Oh no, the arsehole is on now, says Hen.
Yeah, I get free stuff because like people go there and they think, oh, the average person spends like $8 getting like a soda or something and a candy every like once a week. But I go every day for my cigarettes, so I'm spending all kinds of money. So I get all these. I get multiple free sodas. I get free frosty drinks. I get coffees. I get monster tacos for free. I have a great life, Doc.
Hey, it is all about perspective.
Do you see how you reap the rewards of being a smoker?
Got it.
Did you say soda? Chris wants to know.
He did.
So I don't know, John. I don't know if you know Christy from Flip City.
A little bit, yeah.
Flip City Magazine, which is Mad Magazine turned up to 11. It's awesome.
John.
She's out in your time zone. We call y'all the
Hello,
avocado.
Christy.
Y'all are the avocado coast out there. I think all the rest of us are on God's time. over
Okay,
here.
I felt a very desert vibe.
Yeah.
It's that you're looking like you see, Doc. I've got a little burnt here. The sun causes the insanity in the eyes.
Now,
I don't
this-
really. I'm not like a time zone Nazi. Like you guys have your time and you're proud of it. I'm on California time, meaning I don't really give a fuck about time.
Yeah, California's okay.
Well, I mean, in reality, though,
You can have your elitist official time zones over there.
well, John,
I don't like
actually, this is kind of what it boils down to. It's not what time zone are we
No,
in.
that's
If
that's
you are
really
a
funny that you
studio
bring that
creature-
up.
If you're a studio creature, time becomes irrelevant because you're always in your fucking studio working.
No, at 12 o'clock, I go pick up the kid from school. Then from 12:30 to 2:30, I'm swimming because it's hot. And then I come back to this. I have to have my time scheduled out.
Mm-hmm.
This is even worse. Like, you know when you get unemployed and you, like, forget what day of the week it is and shit?
Right.
When
right.
you're working for yourself, you got to have even a more rigorous schedule than when you have to be somewhere.
Yeah, but you can work when you want to.
Oh, absolutely.
And I do. Christy, you
Why?
were saying,
I can't. I got young kids. They have schedules. I have to
right,
Yeah.
right,
navigate those.
right. But once you make accommodation for those, if you want to work through the night, you can work through the night. If you want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and go work, you can do that. But Christy, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, just kind of about the time zone Nazis. I've noticed that when I give times in Pacific, that they change it for me to Eastern every time. They're like, okay, so this time Eastern. I'm like, you say it out loud. You know your time zone. Yeah. What is
Good
it with the
for
Eastern,
you.
Big Apple
Guilty.
time?
Guilty.
It's usually when they have not a lot going on in their life, they need to find things to be proud of. You know?
Well, no, I remember when I lived on the West Coast. I'm in San Diego, and I decide, hey, I think I'd like to call my folks back on the East Coast. Then I have to do the math in my head. Wait, what fucking time is it on the East Coast? You know, things you don't have to think about when you're in, let's say, I don't know, fucking England that doesn't even have a whole time zone.
Like these people, they get to be like around like their mid-30s, 40 years old, and they haven't really accomplished anything in life. So they start looking up their like their lineage, their family tree, so they can find something to be proud of.
Right? Yes. Agreed. 100%.
Pathetic.
Yeah, I'll see people on Facebook, and I typically I just kind of ignore it. It's like, oh, I'm proud to be Irish. You're not fucking Irish. You live in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, you're Atlantan. You're not Irish. Fuck off with that.
Proud to be in America. Nice out here.
John Dillard has a wonderful Dutch Irish name.
No, it's German.
German, but he's Mexican.
German name.
Fuck.
Yeah, like one guy about like 8 generations back. He's a German guy. He fancied a Mexican gal. But all of their kids married back into Mexican blood, and their kids married back into Mexican. All the German has been bred out. All we're stuck with is the name.
Right. But interestingly, when you first meet John, he has a distinctive way of speaking, yes, but there's not a Hispanic accent there until he wants to have one. And then it's very strong. And then you go, how the fuck did you end up with a name like Dillard and being Mexican?
It's gotten me lots of interviews. Say, is this John? I say, yes, hello, this is John Dillard. How can I help? Oh, we'd like to invite you in for an interview. I said, all right, I'll be there. I show up. ¿Qué pasó, hombre? Star's not fucking halal. Let's get to work.
Speaking of work, John, we were talking about, in the grand scheme of things, how comics, in the grand scheme of things, comics, pop culture, stand-up comedy, TV shows, movies, that shit doesn't really fucking matter in the real world.
Oh, you're crazy. You're out of control.
Unless you make a living at it.
Well, let me finish what I'm saying. You know, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When you're post EMP back to Stone Age technology, yes, you want the guy around the campfire who can crack wise and make fun jokes and make you laugh. But comic books are gone, movies are gone, whatever, and it's down to hunting, gathering, and defending your life. You know, so we've been whittled away. And we were talking, Tanner and I, he's a veteran, I'm a veteran, I've worked as a counselor together. Fuck off. And you know, when you do those things, you're used to feeling like, at least, that you make a difference. And then you find yourself doing comic books and you're like, how am I really helping anyone? And the converse of that, of course, is if you're doing it and you're providing for your family, then you do make a difference. What are your thoughts?
You said a bunch of different things. What do I think about EMPs? Well, what is your question?
In the grand scheme of things, do you feel as if you're making a difference in the world by just drawing?
Absolutely.
In what way?
Because the most important things, like that when I think about on a day-to-day, things that cross my mind, things that occupy my mind, things that keep me sane while I'm doing yard work or whatever mundane task, when I was driving a truck for 14 hours a day, you know what I mean? The things that occupied my mind that made me happy, that made me sane, was the entertainment and the storytelling that I consumed.
Right. And that is the.
That's what stopped me from taking my spear and sticking into the neck of my homeboy over here to take his meat.
Yeah, and that's it exactly. It's that the value of escapism.
I believe in civilization and a civilized way of being.
Now, was there that's the escapism aspect of it. Is there, or has there ever been for you that aspirational part? You were inspired by a fictional setting, character, or circumstance that you in. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Like people say that media doesn't influence, right? They say, oh, you can play a video game and kill people all day long and never want to kill anybody in real life. Now that may be the case for a lot of people, but I guarantee you, any one of you who has ever been to the theater and watched a Rocky movie has not come out that theater wanting to throw hands with somebody. Whether you're just playing around and jumping around and jabbing at your friends or whatever, you're coming out of that Rocky movie, number one, wanting to fight, number two, wanting to work out.
It was Enter the Dragon. It wasn't Rocky.
How many people after that first Rocky movie went out and tried to drink raw eggs?
Yeah, that was gross.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Don't do that. Don't do that. Scramble the fucking eggs. It only takes a minute. Yeah, you're right. And, you know, I remember I was 10 years old or 9 when Star Wars came out. And no one had ever seen anything like Star Wars. And I remember it's 1977. I'm at the theater. I'm watching this thing. And when the Millennium Falcon came swooping in at the end to save Luke's ass, I couldn't even remember the name of the ship, the Millennium Falcon. I barely knew the guy's name. But that was such a motivating moment. I was like, holy fuck. You know, that I think that's the first time it evoked that sense of aspirational value, you know, to be that hero and swoop in like that unexpectedly. How awesome was that?
Yeah. It gives you like these, like, I believe that storytelling is, and not just the because I bunched movies and comic books and novels all in is like basically just a higher form of telling a story around a campfire.
Right.
And that stuff, those stories stick with you like long after any kind of like fulfillment you get from delivering eggs to a store so they can sell them.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, I mean, as a, you know, if we were all, if the EMP went off and we were all back in the days of basically the old West, right, where no electricity, no electronics, there's a lot of dudes around that can do stuff like that. I know a couple of people that know how to get a combustion engine working again,
right?
You know, but I don't think that the storytelling escapism aspect of life can be done away with and it continue.
Yeah, I think I agree with you that in order for a civilization to do more than survive, in order for it to grow and to thrive, you got to have the storytellers. You got to have art. Period. I mean,
there was this season of The Walking Dead.
Well, hold on. I was going to say real quick. Cavemen painted on the fucking walls. All right. Because art was a way to communicate and express your desires. So we know it was valuable. But go ahead, John.
Because there's a show called The Walking Dead. And it's pretty famous. But there's a main character named Rick Grimes. He's like leader of his post-apocalyptic group.
Right.
And roundabout season 3 or 4 or something, he has a big long beard. He's grizzled. He's trying to raise his baby daughter, and he's finding walnuts and crushing them up and mixing them with water and make like a paste for her to eat. It's awful, right? Everything is going badly.
Yep.
And it's gotten to the point that he's such a good leader when it comes to keeping these folks alive. Everything else is gone from his life. He has nothing behind his eyes other than just get the job done, keep my people safe. And he gets, they come across a road, and in the middle of the road, there's a case of bottled waters. And immediately, right, he's thinking, this is some sort of trap. Somebody's trying to kill us. And they've been walking for days and days. They're thirsty as hell. And somebody tries to go and get a bottle of water, and he just lays into him. You know what I mean? And just does not let it happen.
Right.
eventually they come across this town called Alexandria where people are living and thriving, and they're doing an interview with him, and he's talking like an entry interview, whether they can be in this community or not, and he's 100% just gone,
Right.
you know, and he realizes like that kind of being, I don't even want to be in this world anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want. I need hope. I need there to be civilization, people to talk to, people to joke around with, people to tell stories to, or else there's really no point in being alive because he's just basically a machine, just keeping people,
right,
keeping the cogs turning, you know?
Right. Yeah. That highlights the difference between living and existing.
Right.
Doc, did you ever think that those old pictures on the cave walls were actually an elder's chalkboard teaching
Many
the
times.
youngsters stuff?
Many times. This is how we hunt. Hold the spear like this. And you think about some of those cave paintings actually had, fucking shading on them because they found a particular mineral or berry that would actually shade. So they were trying to elevate their art as they went along. But yeah, that was their way of some people say it was, they're invoking a spirituality by drawing it. No, I think they were teaching and communicating.
It was their chalkboard.
But either one, it's still using art to do it. Art predates writing. Visual art, I should say, predates.
Yeah, but then you get those assholes that are like, don't listen to those frou-frou professors drawing on the walls. Come out with me. I'll show you how it's done in real life.
No, I think back then the professor could do the job also. That's a symptom of our modern world is the economics professor that tells you how great socialism is because he's never lived through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
I don't know. I lived through socialism. It's called being a kid all the way up to adulthood. It's a socialist structure. I couldn't wait to get the fuck out the house.
Milton Friedman was confronted. They said it was actually Phil Donahue. He said, but isn't capitalism all about greed? And Milton Friedman immediately said the obvious: name me a single system of functioning in any society that's not based on greed. Socialism is just greed for what everybody else has. Capitalism is greed.
You've lost me. I'm not following
you yourself
the plot.
have. That greed is a prime mover in all motivations. Greed meaning I want. So
that's a sin, Doc.
I want to live comfortably. So in socialism, we go, therefore, I will take from others that produce more to accommodate my lifestyle. Whereas capitalism goes, if I want more, I just got to earn more. But the point being, you can't point at a particular like capitalism and go, it's all about greed. Yeah, really? Did you ever see the nomenclatura in the Soviet Union?
I voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary.
Oh, well, I forgive you.
Every day I think about what could have been.
Golf clap. Were you mad when they took it from him?
I was mad. I was mad.
Every time. What's a super delegate? A super delegate is the same as I quit, and that person gets all my.
Yeah. Greed has always been a motivator. Always. I'm hungry. I want. And if I can't kill it for myself, could you please either give me some of your roast wildebeest?
Oh, that's not greed. That's need.
Or I will take it from you. Yeah, well, no, that's greed. I want. Greed is I want.
Yeah, I want a PS5. I need water.
Right. But you have the ability to get your own water. Greed is wanting to take someone else's.
No, that guy's not letting me take no water. He's being a dick over there. He wants me to fucking give him berries for that water. That water should be for everybody.
But he gets his cigarettes every day. Might not have no water, but he got it.
I think the point being that all human beings have the same motivations. It's how you act on those motivations. Matter of fact, there's a school psychology that says everyone is born with certain core needs. You're born with the need to be free of pain, the need to be, and that includes not being hungry or cold or whatever, the need to love and be loved. Been demonstrated even with monkeys, for example. There's a wire framed little monkey that provides sustenance to the baby monkey, and that's where it gets its food. But there's also a stuffed monkey in the cage. If you startle the little monkey, it runs to the stuffed monkey, not the one that's feeding it. So there's the need to love and be loved. There's the need for belongingness. There's all these needs that we have, and then the rest of your life is all about how do you meet those needs for the rest of your life. Everything
Hey guys, I need to go pick up my daughter from school, so I'm actually gonna have to let you guys go.
All right, Tanner. Thanks as
You
always
guys-
for coming out.
Bye, Tanner.
That sounds like a
take it
want.
easy.
What, does she not have legs?
I see where you're going with this one, and you're not wrong.
See you later, Tanner.
You guys take it easy.
Take it easy, Tanner. Talk later, buddy.
Later.
Later.
Hell of a
No,
good
and
guy.
I believe in the, there should be regulations on things that things like railroads, how they used to have that main issue. You can't have a bunch of competing railroads going through one town. There needs to be, infrastructure that's run by basically your governing entity.
Yeah, the question is always which governing entity.
So I don't know. I feel like there are some things that are actual needs that should be universal, like healthcare.
Yeah, see, I don't agree with that.
And I agree that we should elect Trump and have Trump hire Elon Musk to streamline the government. What did he call it? The Doge, the
Government Efficiency Bureau.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
because these people are just money pits that waste my tax dollars, and I need somebody in there to fire half of Twitter or 3/4 of Twitter and streamline this motherfucker, spend my money accurately, correctly.
Yes, I agree with that. But I want to go back to what you said. Healthcare being a right means that if I put myself through school to become a doctor, you have the right to demand my services without compensation. Where else can you do that?
What are you talking about?
You're exploiting the labor of someone else.
You will be getting paid from my tax dollars, which will be being spent well on health.
That's not a fair market value for what you provide.
Then get a different job.
But also, how do you guarantee? How do you guarantee if it's government run, which we know, it's the biggest waste of money is given to the government
does,
So, how do you guarantee you're getting the best care at the best price if there's no competition because the government's taking care of the bill?
Well, yeah, ask Canadians that question and they'll tell you, oh yeah, it's free if you can find a clinic that'll fit you in. If you don't mind waiting 10 years for a procedure that you need in a year. But that leads back to my question, which governing body? Now, I believe the more proximal, closer to you, local government, yes. State government, okay, some. Federal government, no. Defend my shores, pave my roads, and get the fuck out of my way. That's all I need you to do. I don't need a federal government agency for everything. We pointed out earlier the absolute truth. The Federal Department of Education, year over year, every year since its inception, graduation rates and literacy rates have dropped in spite of year over year the budget going up. We spend more per student than any country in the world to get worse results. That's a failure. Give it back to the states because they can better judge what their population needs.
But why? How does that make sense? Why the states? I mean, I live in a state where there's desert populations of nothing, and then there's big city populations of hundreds of thousands. Why not just give it to the town?
Well, that would be, it goes back to your state, and then in your state legislature, they can say, all right, we want to return this to this district, this district, this district. But you got to get it out of the hands of the federal government because it's
I don't want some
obviously
big
a failure
telling me what I can do in my district. Give it to the districts to decide.
Right. Agreed. Agreed. That goes back to my premise. The smaller the government, the more effective it can be, the more responsive it can be to the needs of its own people. Because I'm here to tell you, when your next door neighbor is your commissioner or whatever, you can go over there and get in his face. Try to go to D.C. and do that in a congressman's office. They're going to pretend they care about you for as long as it takes to get you out of their face.
I just watched a video with the journalist trying to get an illegal immigrant into the DNC, through the gate into the DNC. They wouldn't let him in, but they let him into our country. But they wouldn't let him into their little party. Think about it.
Yeah, that's that is an example of what we're talking about. You can't have an overbearing, freaking huge federal government telling the whole country you got to do things this way. The EPA is another example. John pointed out there's a difference between the deserts out where he lives and the swamps in Louisiana. You can't have a one-size-fits-all EPA for that. It doesn't work. Return it to the states. Ask Grand Paul about his neighbor. Well, Levi, come on and tell us the story. The link's in the chat.
That's all.
There's always going to be flaws in any human system. We know that. That's a granted. But the bigger that system is, the more likely it is to fail. Period. The only thing I think that the federal government does well is our military, and even that needs a lot of help. Because when it comes to breaking things and killing people, we're the best there is.
Yeah, the military is out of control. The military is the absolute worst when it comes to spending. Jesus Christ. I just watched some video on YouTube where they talked about how if a plane lands on a different aircraft carrier, they're going to prank it by giving the plane a paint job. Who's paying for that paint job?
Right.
These fucking knuckleheads over here having the time of their lives.
Actually, living on an aircraft carrier ain't that fun. Give them whatever they can get.
The military-industrial complex, we used to always say, above the rank of colonel, all you are is a politician. If your job is war, if your job is breaking things and killing people, or supporting the ones that break things and kill people, anything else is extraneous and unnecessary. So like emergency pronoun training, not really necessary. Not needed. Doesn't make me more lethal.
Look at this text message. Full screen this. Let me tell you, this is how great it is being married. I'm smelling cigarettes. Where are you? I said, what? I said, where? I'm in the shed. It's weird. I'm smelling cigarettes. Where are you? Work. I am not at your work blowing smoke at you.
Tree Goblin wants to go back.
Gee whiz! What in the world?
Tree Goblin wants to go back to being tribal. Hail, Mrs. Dillard, if you're watching. No, she's at work. She's at work. My bad.
No.
Better not be.
She's at work. She's thinking that I'm she just said right now, and I will show you this. This was her reasoning. This was the very last sentence there. Let's see if it'll pop up.
I can't see that shit.
It's not focusing.
There it is.
All right,
it says, I thought it was your ghost.
So she was making sure you were alive and not.
I would text back, when did I die? When did I die?
Hello, Billy.
What the fuck?
When did I fucking die?
Ay, Dios mío.
Billy Power Max, good to see you. Levi Skeen, always good to see you. Hey guys, we're gonna wrap this thing up.
If I died and I was a ghost, would I still smell of cigarettes?
And would you haunt her at work?
Yes.
At work, you would.
Yes, absolutely.
Wait till she got home from work and.
He's just saying, look, he's a person ghost, not a place ghost. All right, boys and girls, we're going to wrap this thing up. I want to thank my co-host, Tanner Hurley, as always. He's not here anymore. Pops is our producer. Thank you for being here. Christy, always a pleasure to have you. I'm going to be on your show when?
Tomorrow night, you and Pops both. 6
Oh,
o'clock. 6 o'clock. West Coast time, avocado time tomorrow, and we're spinning the wheel of conspiracy with varying degrees of conspiracy theorists.
I will make a
It's gonna
tinfoil
be
hat.
She needs a chaperone. She's not going to be hanging out with you alone, Doc. She knows how you are.
I am not making another tinfoil hat, but I will do it.
Christy is tougher than I am. She doesn't need protecting.
You know,
John
it's going to
Dillard,
be a bunch of
Easy with
straight
the
white
insults.
males.
I'm sorry, Christy, tell people where they can find you and what you're. First of all, Flip City Magazine, by the way, we ran the ad for it. If you're not subscribed or backing this, you're really missing out. This is the fun we had when we were kids with Mad Magazine, but really cranked up to 11. It's awesome. I have an issue and I laughed my ass off. Christy, tell people who you are, where they can find you, where they can find your product.
Yeah, so go to flipcitymag.com. From there, real quick, here is our latest issue. We just got it hot off the presses on Friday, and they've out to all of our subscribers. You can go to flipcitymag.com and there link to our free magazine. Because I think so many people out there think they're so fucking funny and they don't deliver. This really is about the funniest thing you are going to read out there, Flip City Magazine. So go check out the free magazine on our website, flipcitymag.com. And if you like watching live streams every Thursday, I do Creative Chaos where I bring on a different independent creator and interview them and have some laughs. 6 o'clock Thursdays, Pacific time. That's 9 Eastern.
p.m. Eastern for all you real people. 9 p.m. Eastern.
Christy, what is your YouTube channel?
Oh, Flip City Magazine. Just put in Flip City Magazine on YouTube, and it'll bring us up.
All right, fantastic.
I'm like 4 people away from 1,700 subscribers, so go subscribe there.
Wow. Yeah. All right, John Dillard, where can people find you, sir?
YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, ArtStation, under the name Dillard.
Hey, John, next time, can we have your good side?
Stephen B., where can people find you, sir? Oh, look. He's got the nice card. Stephen Brown, Boldcat Studios. You can find him everywhere.
If it'll show, I mean,
come on. Come on. Don't focus on the fingers.
Stephen is a strong silent type.
He said Boldcat Studios on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube.
There we go. There it is.
Boldcat Studio.
Good job keeping with that same tag across the, and I have to bitch at Doc. Doc, you don't have the same tag across anything. I can't find you anywhere. It's very annoying.
Over here, it's Doc over there.
Pick a tag and stick with it.
I do my best to be not findable. I have X's, Christy, trying to hide. All right, and I am Doc Blalock, your host. You can find us here every Wednesday on both The Madness and on my YouTube channel. I'm Doc Blalock on YouTube, the only one on YouTube. You can find me at Doc Blalock 8404-8404 over on the Twixter. I have a campaign still open as a storefront for a damn dirty thing over on Fund My Comic. It is a supernatural noir story from a time when men were men and women weren't. Just saying.
Pops Van Zandt and the madness is the madness. You guys know we got tons of shows. We have like 3 more shows later tonight. So still Toking, Silverline, and the Baron Earls Show all coming at you later tonight. Tomorrow night, like I said, I'm gonna be over there hanging out with Christy on the Flip City Creative Chaos Show with Doc and a few other people. Who else gonna be there, Christy? Who else?
RJ Carter from Critical Blast will be there. Paranoid American, a really great novelist. None of you guys probably know, but his name is Alexander Farrar. And he basically fictionalizes a bunch of conspiracy shit and writes novels. And he's a very fancy man. I love him. I'm so excited to have him on. And somebody else said I forget who it is right now, but just come to Creative Chaos tomorrow. Watch us spin the wheel of conspiracy. And
there we go. And
Back
Christy,
row.
hang out after the show, Christy. Don't leave because I got to bounce something off of you.
We also have a debut tomorrow night. Christgau is debuting the Kung Fu Theater. So
Right
check
on.
it out too when you get a chance. You know.
All right, boys and girls, if you haven't subscribed yet to the Madness here on YouTube or to my channel, Doc Blalock, on the YouTube, please feel free to give a thumbs up and subscribe. In the meantime, I hope you have a great day. God bless.
Look, I don't mean to be rude, but I'm tired of talking to you.
And don't think it hasn't been a little slice of heaven, because it hasn't.
Well, what do you know? I finally got the last word.
Good night, everybody!